There were three things that I did when I was coming back from a lot of injury to be able to run my first marathon continuously and pain free. And the first one was I paid a lot of attention to my form for the first time in my whole life. I noticed that I was overstriding. I noticed that the turnover of my feet, what we call cadence, was actually quite slow. I noticed that when I was using my arms, they were coming sideways instead of front to back. I also noticed that my ground contact time, the amount of time my feet were spending hitting the floor, was long. So I transformed all of that by practicing on my easy runs. And I would run to a metronome and I would increase the cadence, so the BPM of that metronome every week to make it a couple of beats faster. I would have it pulsing on my wrist during all of my runs, and that helped the overstride, that helped the cadence, and it helped the ground contact time. And then obviously the arm thing was different. The second thing I did was that every single run in my marathon training block was actually easy. I didn't do any speed work because my body wasn't ready for it. I'd come off the back of a broken ankle or calf crush injury, and before that, like an Achilles thing. And not all of that was running induced, but my body wasn't ready for the intensity of speed work. And I didn't necessarily need it building towards a marathon where the goal was just to run it continuously and pain free. So every single run was at easy conversation pace. I started doing 3 runs a week, 2 short, 1 long, all easy. And then it got to a point where I then reduced that down, which brings me to my third point, which was I took way more recovery time than I would have anticipated I needed. And that was because as the runs got longer, I was running distances that I had never run before for the first time. The recovery was so much harder on my body. So I went from 3 runs down to 2, 1 short, 1 long, both still easy. And then in maybe the last 4 weeks of my marathon block before the taper, I actually could only run once a week because we were getting into 25 to 30k, up to 32k was my final long run. And that was so hard on my body and my central nervous system that I couldn't do any more to recover from it. So those are the 3 things I did. The bonus one is that I did all my physio religiously and I strength trained 2 to 3 times a week. So I hope that's helpful for any of you that are looking to improve your running form, be able to run pain-free, reduce the chance of injury, and maybe you're also training for your first marathon as well. Love you.